there all fucked up and be like, Damien! Or some stupid shit.
And like, you tell me whatever you'd like. I don't mind. As long as it's nice things.
Oh, we're live. JD fucking went live and didn't tell us. What a tool. I'm just playing. Oh, man.
Live. We're here with Danny Daemon, who created the keeper cards.
Yes,
which
yes,
we have
yes.
up here in the background.
See if I can reach him.
He does some amazing work, and he also plays bass and sings in a band.
Yes.
Which is my style. Of course, I'm wearing my Britney Spears shirt just to honor you.
Rocking it.
So these keeper cards. Here is the, and these are the prototypes. He's
Correct.
now
Yeah.
on,
So this is the second pack. This is the bold. No, let's see. Big, beautiful, and bold.
Close. The big, the bad, and the bold.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
I was going to go with beautiful in the original title, but kind of ran off the tongue a little better with the smaller words.
There we
You
go.
know. Yeah.
So how'd you get started doing these cards?
I started collecting tarantulas. Started with one, and then I ended up getting a couple more adult females, and then eventually bought a whole bunch of slings. And from there, I just found it very interesting, researching everything I could possibly find out about these amazing animals. My mustache is going wild.
We love
So
it.
yeah, sorry, it's just like it looks like it's.
It's the life of a rock star. Just go with it.
The
I'm rolling with it. Yeah. So I ended up researching as much as I could about all these spiders, and I was watching a lot of videos and I was reading a lot of stuff, and I found like I would have to go from crazy sources to try and find certain information. So then it kind of I thought, you know what, I'm gonna start putting this together into a bit of into a format that works for me, and it it didn't start as a business idea. It just started as I wanted something for the front of my tanks. And then I ended up proposing the idea to Tom Moran of Tom's Big Spiders, and he was a fan of the music. I'd sent him some Prognosis stuff. I seen he was a metal fan, so I'm like, man, I love this guy's videos. I wonder, by a small chance, maybe he'll like my music. And he loved the music, and we carried on talking. And maybe 6 months later, I went, hey, check this out, and I made a prototype of the prototypes. It was just the digital files, just photos, and he's like, those are really cool. And we kind of bounced a couple of ideas off each other, and yeah, I just ran with it then after that.
That's freaking awesome, man. Like, so when I looked at it and I was telling JD and Marita this, they kind of remind me of like sports trading cards with tarantulas. It brings like an exciting new way to drive people into the industry. I think it's freaking genius.
No, I think there was a gap for it, and I kind of ran with it. Like I said, it's our hobby is a little bit of a niche. It's not huge, but I think it's growing massively over the last maybe 10 years, especially. It's grown exponentially, and there's lots of people out there like myself who got into the hobby, and we were sort of, if it wasn't for Marita and people like Tom Moran and stuff, those early, I want to call them first wave YouTubers, they inspired us to sort of carry on and learn more and do something ourselves. And I didn't want to do a YouTube channel because there's quite a few amazing YouTubers out there. So I didn't think I'd stand out with it. So I thought, you know what, I'll do the cards. And then, yeah, the whole trading card thing, that was definitely the way I wanted to go. I love Pokemon cards as a kid, so made sense,
Well, yeah.
And he also has special edition cards too that are all laser printed and the whole 9 yards. So, it's just like the Pokemon. You get those rare cards also, which is really amazing.
Yeah, we've done a series called YouTube Channel Heroes. So that was kind of my answer to 2020, because I was initially planning to go to all the invert shows around the country, and unfortunately wasn't able to because COVID-19 and everything in the UK just got shut down. No exhibitions, no gigs, no nothing. So I was initially going to do these limited edition packs per show. So if you go to the Western show and come and see our table, we'll have this card that's specially for that show. And then other shows would do the same thing. So I was going to approach these YouTubers and do it that way, but because I couldn't do anything, I thought, sod it, I'll just go for it and just start doing it as I have, and that's proven to be quite successful as well. We've got 5 out so far, and there's a very limited edition card. Kelly Stevenson, Marita's aware of Kelly, I think you guys are as well. Colorado Arachnid Club. She contacted me quite early days about the cards. In fact, she was the one who put me in touch with Marita. And she was like, look, I would love to sell some of these cards at an exhibition over here. So I was like, well, do you know what? I'm going to let you do my plan as such. And I provided her with a whole bunch of stock, which like we did a bit of a transaction and everything was cool with that. And she was amazing. And I made her some limited edition, just 50 of a Colorado Arachnid Club card. And that is like our rarest card. And you get people coming up to me now going like, Danny, I've seen that this is online. How do I get one? So I'm like, I'll have to speak to Kelly.
Travel to the U.S. and speak to this lady.
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
What year did you get into teas, and what brought you into the hobby?
I guess so. I work in a bar. I'm a bar manager of a rock and metal bar, and one of our regulars was telling me about his spider, and I believe it's an Afona Palmasimane. He was telling me all about it, and he showed me pictures. And at this point, I was scared of spiders. Like, I was genuinely. My mother, I think it was just that you follow what your parents do. She was terrified of them, so I was naturally terrified of them. I'm 6'3", and I shouldn't be scared of British spiders. So in the end, it was so bizarre. After this conversation with him, I left work and immediately went and bought one. I just bought a curly hair with a full setup, and I got it home. And my missus is like, "What have you done?" I was like, "I don't know, but how cool is it?" So then, one wasn't enough, and it wasn't necessarily the fascination at first. It was the fact that when I buy the feeders, and you get about 30 in a tub, and I'm told maybe feed them 3 or 4 of those in a week or 2-week period. I'm like, dude, I've got to look after these crickets longer than I've got to look after my spider. So I thought, if I just get enough spiders to feed the whole box of crickets to, each time I buy one, I don't have to take care of the crickets. I just get the crickets, feed them all straight away, and then now I have to buy 6 boxes of crickets.
I love that freaking mindset.
That's how it started. And then when I got that one as well, I just started watching videos and reading, and like I love learning about anything and everything. I love the natural world especially. So yeah, I don't know what it was. It just great videos, Marita, like yours. They helped.
I think they got frozen. Joys of their internet.
Texas, say.
Hey, I'm in Texas too. It's just that's what happens when you move to the country.
Yeah.
So it's funny because they did the same to me. You know what I mean? Like Marita, she's always been great, and she's always pushed me to kind of try to handle spiders. And finally, about a year ago, she got me to, and now here I am with 4 tarantulas of my own. Nice. I claim them to be my wives, but let's be honest, I take care of them, so they're mine. But I think it's pretty amazing how you can go from a fear to such a fascination about things strictly because your fear is derived from not knowing about something.
100%. I agree with that. I have a room that I go into now. I've got a full spider room, and I walk into that room, and I love my spiders now. Like I adore my spiders. I'm not scared of them anymore. I don't personally handle. I'll pick up the UK ones. I see them around and stuff. I'll just put my hand out. But I don't particularly handle tarantulas. I'm ginger as well, so I'm afraid like my skin's gonna be really sensitive to the hairs, and I just don't know. I
Why
know.
should you keep that so hidden so well?
Big reveal, guys. Big reveal.
No, I definitely feel you there, man. Like those hairs are something different. Like I had this crazy idea to put one on my face for a picture for Halloween, and my face was itching the rest of the day, no matter what I did. I was about to lose it, and she actually grabbed my eyelid, and I think that was the worst part. So I was sitting there like all day, just like rubbing the hell out of my eye. It looked like I had pink eye or something because I was going nuts. But
well, you could tell us it was a spider, dude. I've had the unfortunate thing of being haired, but through I guess you could call it secondhand hairing. The spider didn't hair me; the spider haired my cat because I was an idiot and I left one of the lids off one of my tanks just once. Big mature LP, and the spider. So the cat found the spider before I even knew it was out, and the cat got haired. The cat's like meowing at the wall. I have no idea what is up with him. I picked the cat up, like, come on, dude, you'll be fine, stroking him. You know, just like I cradle the cat because I'm strange, but I pick him up and I'm like, you'll be fine. And then, yeah, like 20 minutes later, my arms are like red, and I'm like, what's going on? The cat goes back to meowing at the wall again, and then I'm like, oh no, I know what this is. And I go to the wall and I see the big LP just up the wall. I'm like, that is not where you want to find next to your bathroom door, that's for sure.
We've had that happen a time or two.
Yeah, or four.
I can't imagine you guys would do what that. Be so irresponsible.
Oh wait, no! It never happens. It's always our employees, of course.
Standard.
We never leave a lid ajar ever.
When you're doing 150 or 250 spiderlings at a time, you always make sure and snap that lid every single time, and then you double check when you're done, of course.
Of course.
I actually think it's worse. I'm so afraid with the little babies of pinching their little legs, so I'd actually rather have one get out than pinch their little footies off. Because
I mean, you guys, Texas is warm, right?
Texas
They'd
is
survive.
warm.
They'd survive if they got outside for you guys. Whereas for us, if a tarantula got out of my tarantula room,
that's true.
It wouldn't survive. It would just.
Mm-hmm. I talked to a man who lived in Ireland, I think, who had a Gila monster get out. And that Gila monster survived the winter in the snow at his place. He found it in spring, looking fit as a fiddle. That blew my mind. Was it Ireland?
Yeah, I believe so.
Nature finds a way, you know?
Right.
Life finds a way. That's a classic Jurassic Park line.
Yes. All right, so I've got to ask everybody, what are we drinking?
I'm on a lager. It's I've never had this before. I bought one of those selection boxes. It's called a Lucas, and it's only 4.2%, so it's not too strong. But it's a Bavarian style light gold lager. Yeah. What are you guys?
John?
I am drinking a Miller Lite, I believe. I don't know what Mama put in here. Usually, I'm a Sam Adams guy. Like I've become a little bit snobby as I'm getting older, and I like a good beer now versus just drinking light beer. But
yeah,
whatever Mama puts in a glass, I'll drink.
Today I'm
what do you want?
Cranberry juice, and I have some cranberries here, so pardon my crunch.
It's pure cranberry juice, guys.
It is.
If I can get it in 3 liters, I drink it in 3 liters. But here in our town, they don't sell 3 liters. So
my favorite wine is actually a red wine out of New Mexico. It's a plum wine, and it is yummy. I don't drink beer though. Just think it's yucky.
I like cider. I like whiskey and beer and Jägermeister, which I drank a bottle of last night.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, my head hurt this morning. I'll tell you that. But I'll tell you what, my favorite American beer, I guess it's cheap over there, but over here it's so hard to get. Pabst Blue Ribbon. I'm a sucker for those small cans.
Danny, send me your info after this. I will get you some PBR, man.
Amazing.
All right, so real quick, we got people on. Tarantula said hi all. Bobby's Critter Cave said hi Danny. The
Hey, Bobby.
guy said hello from the Multiverse Wall.
Oh.
8 Legs 4 Wheels said hey all. Hey Danny.
Hey Greg.
8 Legs 4 Wheels said hi Bobby's Critter Care. And so they were talking to somebody else. Tina Johnson Baker said I love my sister. And the Mexican said hi. And
hey,
Tina Johnson wants a pina colada.
Oh, okay.
And 8 Legs 4 Wheels says cider, definitely.
So since Tina's on, I want to give a big thank you to Tina for all the beautiful gifts that she always sends me. That dream catcher that I recently opened was from Tina, and so that was really sweet. And she also was the last mail we got was from her.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so she is super duper cool. She's a big fan of my TikTok account, so check that out, everybody.
Do it.
So, do you do anything other than tarantulas? I know you got a cat. Do you have any reptiles?
I've seen a picture of one snake.
I have one snake. I only recently got that one snake. That's it's a snow corn. It's a 5-foot male. Placid as anything, quite lovely. I have 2 tortoises, Herman's tortoises. One's a bully, the other one's tiny and not a bully. I get the bullied. I've got scorpions. I have maybe 8 or 9 scorpions. I have a vinegaroon, and I have 1 Egyptian predatory beetle left because, the other 5 slowly have just died. Sucked, but you can't breed them really unless you've got an ant colony, I believe. So it's not happening.
Yeah.
Well, so I guess we cut out when in the middle of this when you guys were talking. How long ago was it that you got your first tarantula, that curly hair?
It's got to be 5 years, maybe a little longer. I haven't been in the hobby like forever, so I learned a lot quickly, I guess. But yeah, since then I've raised maybe 70, 80 slings. I like an adult, but I like to have got that sling to an adult. That's my I feel like that's my achievement point with keeping tarantulas. I love seeing them get to that size, and every time they molt, and it's exciting. And I'm very proud to say that of my original, I got 3 big adult females first, but then I got a bunch of maybe like 8 to 10 slings, and of those 8 to 10 slings, I've only lost 3 of them. And by lost, I mean they just matured out and died. I mean, it's kind of sucky. My Regalis, my Tapinarchenius, the purple tree spider, I think it is, and then what else? I've never been able to successfully raise a Psamapoeus cambridgei. Just can't do it. I've tried. I bought 3 more recently, slings, and within a month, for some reason, 2 of the 3 just died. Not keeping them any differently to my other Psamapoeus, and I've raised Erminias to maturity. So it's just aggravating, isn't it?
Poecilotheria ornata is our what do they call it?
I don't know, our krypton, our bane. We just, for some reason,
they just will not survive. We bought adults,
and they'll do
slings,
great for a while, and then
months,
suddenly just
die.
I don't know. It seems like we've had them longer than 3 months.
Nope.
No?
Pokies, I seem to have bad luck because they're always males. I have a adult female fasciata and an adult female smithy. She is, I believe, very rare, the pokey smithy. But I've had all of the pokies apart from I've never had the Riaja, which is the new one that they found. And it bugged me. I've never had a P Metallica. I've had all the others, and most of them have hit maturity or are still growing.
So you keep it Hannah Sumilla Velika?
Yeah, the Hanuma Villa Simplica. Yeah, Andrew Smith's pokey. I had one. I'm quite lucky in the UK because I've got Europe next door, and boy oh boy, do they have a selection of tarantulas. So it was quite early on when I got a lot of my pokies. So things like the Subfusca, Lowland, and Highland species, the Formosa, Striatas, and stuff like that. You can kind of get them quite easily over here, which is good.
Yeah, really like Formosa. We've had them through the years and just never could get an egg sac out of them. They end up getting 10, 12 years old and they die off, and about time to get into some more if we can find them.
I think I'll be most devastated when my fasciata goes. She's beautiful.
That was one of the first egg sacs we ever produced, was off of a fasciata that was successful. We did versicolor, and then fasciata, the whole egg sac was good.
Amazing.
Versicolor was only a couple slings, so love that.
My versicolor is a confirmed female as of recently. I checked, and yeah, she's a beautiful girl. I'm super happy that she's a girl as well. Yeah, not telling.
So people don't realize how much work it takes to get a project like yours off the ground. Can you walk us through from the first thought of doing this and sending the pictures to Tom's Big Fighters to actually your first Kickstarter program and now your second Kickstarter program?
Yeah, you want a history. All right, has everyone got the drinks ready and stuff? Okay.
Yes.
So
ready.
I'm going to take a quick sip and then, yeah, we'll get going with that story. Okay, so I spoke to Tom Moran about my cards, and he said it's a great idea. One of the things he suggested was for me to drop the humidity and temperature statistics that I'd initially included at the bottom of the cards. If you guys have seen them, there's a moisture level thing. And what I did was I replaced that. Originally that said temperature and that said humidity. And he's like, we don't want people to obsess over that particular statistic because some people will obsess with it. So a little bit of like I said, bouncing between ideas between me and Tom, we came up with this idea for the moisture level. And then from there, I contacted a couple of other YouTubers, and I wanted to kind of get some reviews. I set up the Kickstarter project. It was the only way to be able to afford to get them printed. As much as I didn't even know if anyone would be interested in them. No one had heard of me. No one knew what. Like I don't have any friends. No, I have friends. I just don't have any friends that are interested in spiders, like in person. You know, I've got loads now online, and I've got zero friends really in that I know in person. Apart from the guy at the pet shop, and he's a lovely guy, and he's always guided me well. So trying to like get people interested in it, it was quite tough. So I thought YouTubers are the way forward. Tom Moran's interested, and Tom Moran helped me with this. So not to say I used Tom, but certainly Tom's credibility gave me a level of credibility. It was, well, if Tom Moran has checked over this information, then it's going to be accurate to at least a high percentage, you know? So I got in touch with Petco of the Dark Den. I got in touch with Tarantula Daniel Oakley. I got in touch with Tarantula Cat. I tried getting in touch with the Tarantula Haven, but the guy never checked his Instagram stuff. So I'm great friends with Alex now, but he didn't get a chance to get involved at the very start. And then I got in touch with Mark's Tarantulas as well. And it was Daniel Oakley who pushed me onto Princess Sophie Pink as well. He's like, dude, you should see what this 8-year-old thinks of the cards, you know. And I thought that's a great idea, you know. I want these cards to be accessible for all ages. So set up the Kickstarter, sent out the packs. I agreed a time and sort of like when they would release the cards. So when they would release the videos, and then I set this project off, and it took 4 days from when all these videos came out at the start. It took 4 days to hit £2,200, which I think is probably like $2,600 maybe. So I managed to raise. That was awesome. That was like, that's my target. I'd hit it. Within the next several weeks, I ended up hitting just shy of £8,000. So I didn't know if I'd even priced any of this stuff up correctly. I knew how much things were going to cost for manufacturing, but I didn't have any idea about how much I'd have to pay in tax to get them shipped to me. I didn't know the shipping was going to be as high as it was. So it was really lucky that the amount that I raised was the amount, because I would have had to fork out quite a bit. So that made the second Kickstarter a lot easier. I was able to identify those problems that I initially had and make sure that the target amount covers everything it's supposed to cover, rather than just sort of winging it. I don't know if you've seen from today how much we've currently raised, and it's been 7.5 days since we launched this Kickstarter. We've hit over £10,000.
Wow.
And it's a testament to people believing in this product, a testament to the people I have spoken to and got to know over this last 12 months. I'm involved with some amazing people in this hobby who I could have only dreamed about getting to know and getting to talk to. Like, getting to do this with you guys is amazing, and thank you for having me. And getting to do. I'm now one of the members of the Tarantula Tuber Saturday Night Takeaway. I don't know if you guys have seen this show, but it's a Saturday night stream with some YouTubers, and we just talk spiders and play games, and it's just a bit silly. So just getting involved with all these people, everybody has been so supportive of these projects. As far as the actual, I guess, research and everything else goes with these cards, I don't rush them. It'd be easy enough just to sort of Google stuff and then just go, yeah, cool, that one says 10 years. Yeah, okay, that one says 5 years. But I don't do that because I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's credible. And it's not a good way of getting the information. You want to cross-check everything. So exactly. I'll get 5 or 6 different websites and scientific papers, and I'll watch videos about species, and I'll talk to people who've kept these species and be like, yeah, this thing here kind of says it lives up to 10 years. How many years have you found that your species have lived for? And I'll get that information, and I'll spend weeks on one species. I don't want to rush them. I want people to know that these cards, I have taken my time with them to make sure that the information is as accurate as can be. The hardest part is getting the photographs, because when I first did the first project, it was easy. I could just go, "So anyone got any pictures of a H. gigas?" And then people will be like, "Yeah, stranger, here's some H. gigas pictures." And I'd be like, "Cool, well," and then I'll message them and be like, "I'm doing this project, and I would like to feature your spider on there. I can't pay you, but I will credit you on the card." And they're like, my spider gets to be on a trading card? Oh, hell yeah. So, I did it that way. But since that first Kickstarter, if I go online and say, "Hey guys, I need a Lampropelma nigerium photograph," people are going to go, "Oh, he's doing a Lampropelma card." So I want to keep a little bit of mystery, but to do that now, I have to dig for pictures, and I'll go on Instagram. I'll talk to people that I might not have spoken to yet, and just be like, "Hey, you've got this picture, and it's really cool. You got any more photos of that species?" So that's been one of the challenges, really, getting the photographs. Everything else, though, just sort of falls into place. I followed the same sort of principle. I wrote letters. I kept it kind of personal with the YouTubers, and spoken to it's not just YouTubers either, Instagrammers and other professionals. Andrew Smith, Mr. Hanuma Villasamika, he's actually got a pack of the prototype cards. He said they're too small. Can't please everybody. He said make some big ones. So I'm like, okay, you know what? That's something I'm going to look into. So this whole process it's time consuming, and had it not been for being in lockdown and being on furlough in the UK, where my job the bar's not been open since March, but I still live in the bar. So I've just been doing research. I've been making cards. I've been talking to people, going on live streams, and doing everything I can to push into it. And it's all unpaid up until this point. But even then, with the money that I raise, I won't spend that money just like, cool, I'm going to go buy some beer or a PlayStation 5 or get a tattoo or whatever. I put it straight back into the business. In the end, I want keeper cards to be an entity that lasts as long as I do, at very least. I want to tour Europe. I want to go around the US, all to promote the cards and promote careful animal husbandry and inspire other people to be interested in the same thing we guys are, you know?
That's freaking awesome.
It's a long story. Sorry, that's a bit bitty.
Oh, that was great. That was great.
Fantastic. So I've got one suggestion and one more question. Andrew Smith, he's like me. He's getting old, so that's why he wants the bigger stuff so he can see it.
Yep. Oh, I figured this. Yeah.
Rather than doing a bigger card, maybe doing posters. And putting multi-species, just like your cards, having different sections, so they'd be a little bigger on the poster, and that way you don't have.
Plus, they're so beautiful. I can see that someone would want to display them.
Yeah. I'm trying to get into. Good.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's a good idea. That is a good idea. I want to eventually, once I've done maybe a few more expansion packs, I want to put all this together in a book as well for people who don't necessarily are interested in cards. Just something simple, you know, something colourful that kids can read, or something that will attract other people. And I think there's these books out there that are very, very detailed in their taxonomy information, but for something a little easier to kind of get your head around, these cards kind of fill in that gap. So I'd like to eventually put these into a book, but a poster's a really cool idea. You know, I might steal them.
And we expect your first prototype.
It's
every time.
There's a guy out of Germany that actually did these, and he did amazing posters. So we started talking to him about starting to distribute them here in the U.S., and we did a video about the posters. It was a little bit revealing. She was like in a sexy teacher outfit.
We thought it would be funny.
And now we can't get a hold of the guy anymore.
We may have offended him.
Oh.
He did like a sexy school teacher type, like I had my glasses on and I was teaching a little lesson.
Posters.
Hey, you're infamous, like.
Sometimes sex doesn't sell. That's strange. I've never heard that. I heard sex always sells.
He had a girlfriend, so maybe the girlfriend is why he can't come.
That's probably why.
He did some amazing work on the poster. I mean, the posters were really beautiful.
Is he the guy who did the pokey poster?
Postotheria, Brachypelma. Go on.
Yeah, I have the pokey poster.
Yeah.
There's a good website. I want to make sure I get it correct. I think it's So Many Legs, and they do a pack of posters as well. They're, I don't know, A3 in size, so they're not massive, but they're spiders on a dark background. And he had like maybe 10 available for £15, which cost nothing. Glossy posters. I bought a lot straight away, put them in frames. So I think there's a market for posters. One of the things that we did on our original Kickstarter was we made a flag, because I realized that almost every tarantula keeper who's interested in this kind of stuff has that pokey poster. So there's definitely room for good stuff to put on your walls, you know?
So when you started these trading cards, how many? I know they got the oh Lord, what's the word?
Expansion pack.
Well, you got the expansion pack and the original prototype, right? So how many packs did you initially start out with, and what have you seen it grow to with your expansion?
Well, I started off when I got my very first batch of prototypes. I had 6 copies of the starter pack. I'll tell you a funny story about that in a moment. So Marita actually has one of the original prototypes for the starter pack. You know the prototypes because they don't have stickers on the back, whereas the final version has a sticker and a little security sticker that we have to have. I say we, me and my missus Kirsty, who makes the bags. We have to put all the stickers on ourselves, and everything is hand done. You know, like there's no, apart from the front sticker, the company that make them are kind enough to put that on for me. But everything else we pack all the stuff together. But the funny story is the actual starter pack that we got printed. The prototype, it has a low resolution logo on the front. So this is the mass produced one that most people will have. But it also on the prototype it says contains 6 info cards and 30 species cards. The other way around. This information's the other way around. So when I was initially putting all these stickers on, I realized one of the boxes, because I ended up getting around 1,000 copies of this made with the first Kickstarter. So I initially opened up one of them and I'm like, oh, this one's got a crack on the back. And I don't know why, but it didn't dawn on me. I just picked up the prototype off the table and went, no worries, put the sticker on the back of that, put it in the box. And then later on, I was like, I just put my prototype box in there and I don't know where it is. Now, I have maybe 300 copies of this left. So I've sold like 700 units maybe of the Keeper Cards starter pack, which is really good. That mixed with for a first year sort of projection is great. I'm so happy with it, and it just means more people want the expansion, you know. But I realized, somebody out there, or maybe it's in the last several boxes I've got, somebody out there has my prototype. So I want to do a lottery one day, and if whoever's got it, I'll send them something special. Because I don't know
like
where it is.
A Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory finding your golden ticket again.
That's the one, yeah. Find it. I'll be like, please send it me back.
There's gonna be one wiry red beard hair in there. Yay, I won!
Hey, if it isn't mine, it's one of the cats. Desperately try not to include any cat hair in my stuff.
Which can be difficult, we know, because we got dogs and we got dog hair all over everything. There's a couple things. One, Rita this morning was saying she didn't know if your girlfriend was the lady that made the bag, so now that's been clarified.
There we go.
And 2, it's awesome that everything you do is peer reviewed. You know, that's how you do books. You write a book and then you send it out to
a good book,
yes,
or a good product.
You send it out to people and have them critique it, and either make changes from there or decide to stick with your opinion, and that makes for a better book. And the fact that you're doing that means that these cards actually have validation behind them as far as the information, which is fantastic.
We have a few more people in the feed, but I'm a little too far away.
So let's see real quick. Trav Angela said, congrats, Danny.
Thank you, Trav.
Absit Abba said, please talk to the mic. Can you hear me now? And Taylor Four Wheel says, congratulations, mate, definitely amazing. Danny will, Abba said, Danny will go for it once. I can't really, you know, just talking about some, they're gonna subscribe. Jonathan Baker said, female blue fang. Egg Legs Four Wheel says, yeah, that's Andy from So Many Legs. And Ben's Pet says, hello.
Yeah, it's Andy who does the posts we were talking about.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
I'll have to check those out.
Yeah, you should.
Picking those up from you, Andy.
Andy, I don't know if you can paste a link into the comment feed, but if you can, please do for us and everyone else.
If not, Marita, I promise I will send the link. They're very, very cool posters. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
Try and do that now.
We need more stuff in here. All of our posters, and unfortunately, your original Keeper cards are still in New Mexico. All of our literature is there.
Yes, our whole library, any non-essentials got left in New Mexico because we closed escrow, and I had about a week to move our entire zoo here before I started my new job teaching here in Texas. And the living creatures had to come before our comfort. And So I was, it was bloody and tearful and very sweaty. And John was there; he could tell you. He even cried.
Sometimes
That
you
was
gotta.
the leading one. Yeah.
So my next question is
Yeah.
now you've done all this work, you've got this new set going, you've got your Kickstarter. Two things, I guess. One is that every keeper card that goes out there has you on it, your fingerprints are on it because you've actually put it all together, rigged it up. So how much work is involved once you get this? All your cards come in and all your stuff comes in. Then what's the process to get all the stuff shipped out to everybody that's starting supporting the Kickstarter?
It starts with, like I said, I get the first thing is put stickers on. So it's one sticker on the back, and then there's a shiny, like a security style sticker that gives a sticker of authenticity. I think that's the word. So I thought they were really cool, and I'm like, I want those on my cards. So I put, it goes one sticker, then another sticker. Then all of these go back in the little plastic bags that they come in. And then I have to, one of the big long things is getting all the addresses, making sure, obviously, once, let's just pretend I've ordered everything and it's all turned up and it's all just sat in my front room now. I mean, we're talking boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes of stuff. It becomes a little workshop in here. So I get Kirsty and I get a friend to help me. We get a couple of tables out in here. And the first time it was a bit of like, getting it all sorted. But I have definitely, I'll have a much better improved system this time round for sorting it all out. But so I've got to put all the stickers on, and then we put everything in those bags. Those all of those boxes, like the one you've got there, that I have to put the sticker on top of that. I have to build that box. So, I mean, the more pledges I get, currently we're up to 175, 176. So that's 176 boxes I have to sit and make with the stickers on. All these, I get the fake spider web stuff. I used a lot last time, and this time I'm like, I don't want to do that again. But I still use some at the bottom of the box to kind of hold things in place. Then I put in a business card with this Kickstarter. Anyone who got involved within that first 7 or 8 days, they get an exclusive early bird card. So that's going to go into this box, the one you've got, and then it's going to have another card as well and a sticker that says like first supporter of this project. So that's just the basic pack. And then for the ones who'll have the binders and the t-shirts, I have to get special boxes that the binders go in. I've managed to figure it out how to get a t-shirt, the binder, and the card. So a box of cards all in one pack. And then I've got to get those out. And it is expensive shipping to the US. So I wanted to keep those costs as low as possible. So I've gone with the more economic postage method this time, which isn't me driving around the US or anything, which would be cool, but it would take me a lot longer than if I posted them. So I've gone with a sort of cheaper option for people. It might just take a little longer to get to them, but I think a lot of people would have been put off from supporting us had they known that they have to pay the same amount for postage as the cards cost. I'm not a big business. I don't have the contacts with the big mail companies. I don't have to deal with FedEx or UPS or whoever. So I just have to kind of keep costs low. It's going to take, I think, last time, I don't know why, but last time I just had in my head I could do this before Christmas. This time I'm like, hell no, it ain't getting to you before Christmas. It just physically cannot be done. So I put realistic expectations on there. I'm saying like it could be February, guys. Like I know it's a while away, but when you think about the whole process of getting every single package completely ready and done, and I don't want to just do like 10 and send them out because then 10 people have them before everybody else. So I want to turn up at the post office with like 30 sacks of mail and be like, there you go, guys, and it's fair game. Then everyone's like, you get it first, and that's just because that mailman was faster than that mailman. So yeah, I send everybody's out separate at the same time. It is a lot of work, but it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of work that I like. I'm happy doing it. It's something I'm building up. People love the cards. It's the feedback afterwards. That's amazing. People going, oh, these are absolutely awesome. I've had people turn around and say that they've started a spider selling business and they use the cards to show people what the slings will look like. So what their slings are going to look like when they've grown up. So they sold extra spiders because of it. I've got people saying that they have them in school. Somebody bought them as a wedding present not long ago for the half. You know, it's people love the cards, and to me that's incredible. I'm just so blessed with it, and so it's not work. It's not work. Work's the wrong word. It's just a time-consuming process. That's the word we use. That once I get the stuff, once it's here, I don't stop. I mean, I'll stop to eat and sleep, but that's it. I just crack on. I do 12-hour days, just getting this stuff sorted. So I don't want it in my possession any longer than it needs to be. I don't want it sat there and me being like, yeah, man, probably built those boxes. I'd have those boxes in and I'd be like packing them all up and getting everything sorted and yeah, just getting it all out as fast as possible. That's it. Another long story.
It's pretty amazing. Well, we're aware because we've done things like that. Just shipping spiders, you know, you ship out 200 or 300 spiders, and it's an all-night deal for us.
Yeah.
And we've actually did it where she had to drive 4 hours to ship the spiders because she was here and we had to ship them out of Roswell. And just the process of putting spiders in vials instead of having multi-steps like what you do, I commend you for the amount of work you put into these. It's a lot of effort, and it shows. I mean, it shows the hard work, and you've done a fantastic job.
It's amazing.
Thank you so much.
This is a totally natural transition into how do you do all that and still grow and maintain that beautiful beard? I know everyone wants to know. John was kind of.
I definitely have a man crush right now. I'm a little jealous.
Yeah.
The trick is lose the stuff off the top.
Right.
Yeah, the more you lose off the top, the quicker that it grows out the bottom. Yeah,
awesome.
I felt like I needed some character to my face, and lockdown has helped. I mean, it was probably a little shorter pre-lockdown, but they call me the British Richard from the Tarantula collection. we should have a beard off one day.
Oh, you're winning. By far right now, you're winning. You're going to have to give me a couple months to try to play catch up.
Movember soon. No, it's Movember now, isn't it?
It is. It is.
So, you're just teasing you because you're beautiful, and so we had to talk about it. But you turned us on to your band and an amazing video. Oh my gosh, it was incredible. So you have to tell us about a little bit about Prognosis and that awesome music video. And I love even the photos of you and your band. You guys are badass.
I'll take that. We love. I love music. I've always done music. I did music before I did spiders. The music industry is brutal, and anyone who's ever been involved with it will absolutely know it's brutal. People will go from listening to something to, well, that's old news now, and then it's done. We released Definition, the album, in 2018, and we've had lots of good feedback from it. I'm getting a lot more feedback from it in this last couple of maybe month or so. A lot of people through YouTube and through people knowing me now through Prognosis as well are really getting onto the band, which is awesome. So yeah, is the video you're talking about? Was that Downfall that I sent?
Yes.
Can't remember. Yeah, Downfall was a fun video to make. We just had to play the song 30, 40 times. So you can watch it, and there'll be a scene where I'll be dry as a bone, and then literally the next shot, I'm there sweating because it's just warm. We have the lights, and we just stomping around. And I play bass guitar. I'm a proud player of a New York-based bass guitar company called Michael Tobias Design, MTD, and I got involved with them through a really good friend of mine, a guy called Nick Daw, who works for the WWE. And that's an interesting story. He ended up coming to Manchester with the WWE, and he came to my bar, and he was like, "Dude, I'm looking for that Iron Maiden Trooper beer." And I'm like, "Well, I've got it here for you." So I just got talking to him, and he's like, "You like your wrestling? We're going to be here for a couple of days, and got the WWE." And I'm like, "Funny you should say that. I've actually got tickets for the Raw show." And he's like, "Well, where you sat?" So I was like, I showed him my tickets, and he's like, "I'll get you better seats." So he ended up putting us like right near the stage, and we got to like hang out with I got to hang out with the crew guys, and to me, that's, as a musician, I appreciate the hard work that the crew people do. The talent's cool and all, but I mean, a wrestler's a wrestler, isn't it? But the guys who do it in their day in, day out, and they're putting on the show, they're to me the real heroes. Right. So I just got talking to this Nick guy, and then over Christmas time, I was like, me and the girl are going to come over. Like, I want to go WrestleMania. So he was like, "Well, good that you got in touch with me. I'll sort you some tickets out." And I sent him this big like box of like Iron Maiden stuff, and I got as a Christmas present for him and his kids and his family. And then since then, like I carried on talking to the lad. There's the guy, and I've been to his house, stayed at his house. He's from Kingston in New York, so I've stayed with him. And it turns out his brother is a director at this bass guitar company. Who'd have thunk it? And then one day he's like, "Danny, I want you to play my bass guitars." So I'm like, "Okay, I'll play your bass guitars." And I'm like, "How much do you want for it?" And he's like, No, it's for you." So yeah, I'm an endorsed bass player now as well. So yeah, it's music's very important to me. Prognosis, Phil who's in Prognosis with me, the other lads, like they mean the world to me. So it's just having fun with your mates playing music, and yeah, I've met quite a lot of people from that scene as well. I don't know which one I prefer though. I think I almost prefer the Spider scene, to be fair. You guys are wicked, so.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but I'm a belly dancer and he's a drummer. So
I can dance with belly, but it's not sexy.
Who says?
Well, that's a good point. Yeah, just.
Well, so you've been at, how long has Prognosis been around? And tell us a little bit about, it's like being in a marriage. You've got all the things except the sex from each other going on in this relationship. Sometimes. And it causes a lot of issues, especially when you're dealing with people that are musically talented. I mean, they all tend to be a little bit to the left. So how do you guys manage to keep it together? Because every band I've been in ends up in flames. Everybody gets into a fight and then nobody talks to each other for 20 years.
Well, lockdown wasn't pretty for the band. Lockdown was brutal for the band. We actually let our drummer go. And we also lost one of our guitar players. He didn't die. He just fucked that guy, and I kind of wish he did. But no bitter feelings. We've not announced it or anything, but we do have 2 new members, and I've had them for a couple of months now, but with no gigs or anything. We're just building up to that point where we're going to actually announce these new guys. So yeah, you're right. Bands do go through some stuff, and it is like a relationship. I've been with Prognosis since the beginning, 2014. So.
Do you guys all live in Manchester?
Yeah, Manchester, UK.
That's good.
Represent. Yeah, we are like great friends, and me and Phil, like I said, the other founding member, been through a lot together. We've played in front of. Last year alone, we played a huge gig for us. We played in the Netherlands, a little place called Leeuwarden, which is kind of the north of the Netherlands. We were supporting Opeth, Death Angel, Vintage Caravan, and another band called Clone. But we were actually on second. There was 5 bands on the day. Like, it was in front of over 3,000 people, which that's the biggest gig we've done up to this point for original music. You know, we're not playing covers or anything. It's all just our own music. So to get to that point was amazing, and then lockdown happened. So yeah, it's just a process, and I'm hoping like things go well for the next couple of years. But with the new members, like they're super excitable and super like raring to go. So I can't wait to see what people think of the new style. I wouldn't say we're changing the music style too much, but new members just equals different ingredients to that pot, doesn't it? So we'll just see. I'm happy with it though, and lots of people are wearing my t-shirts, and people like the music that we've currently wrote. So me and Phil are the main songwriters. We both sing. I'm like a conductor in that band. I'm like, so yeah, we're going to come up with some awesome stuff. We've got like an entire album worth of material that we just need to record. So yeah, watch out, kids.
Well, that's pretty cool. And an original thing that I saw with with the band is that you guys actually put out a book, which I don't know of any other band that's done that. And that's a lot of creativity right there. So what was the process for that?
Phil, our guitar player, he is an author. He's a journalist as well. He writes for numerous publications, which is probably why we've got like some of the good connections that we do have. But he put together a book of short stories that were inspired to some degree by the album. So yeah, it was just called A Definition, the short stories. He's just always wanted to write a book, and it's a good read. I mean, they're only little stories and stuff, but it is a good read. Some of them are longer than others, but each one, I think, they might not necessarily 100% go with the song, but in Phil's mind, you know, these stories are representative to him at least, and I think something that you should consider. You should have a look at maybe picking up and having a read, because it's something a bit different, like you said, and they are stories. It is fiction, so it should be fun.
I hate to do this to you guys. Why you have multiple hosts? I need to potty. I'll be right back. Carry on, gents.
So I got a question on it too. Going with it seems like a lot of bands follow like a theme for an album, or they'll follow like a life event kind of carries through that album. Do you take your direction in your songwriting through what's happening in your life, or off of past events of all the members, or how do you really bring Prognosis's story forward, like in your music? Like what's the drive in your writing?
We'd like to say the first album, Definition, is a bit of a representation of the human condition, which is something most of us can get behind. We all know what it's like to feel certain ways, and to be inspired by, or to be distraught by certain events that may be out of your control. Like, we're talking like there's a lot of raw emotion in that album, in terms of we've got songs that talk about betrayal and about being alone, and so a lot of these feelings that many people will experience at least one time in their lifetimes. But a lot of them still have that kind of uplifting, you know, things are going to be okay. So yeah, I think the first album is all about the human condition. This new album, which is currently untitled, I don't know how to even describe it. Me and Phil have been talking about it, how it can, what we can really say to people what it's about. It's been a long time coming with the amount of work we put into getting all this music written, and we don't like the keeper cards, man. I don't know. I just don't rush anything. I make sure everything I do is how it's meant to be, and I mean, it won't take as long as Tool's album did to come out, but it'll certainly it will take a little bit of time to get it to that point where we're completely happy with it.
Right.
But lyrically, especially, I don't like to sing about things that have no relevance to me. If you know what I mean. I think a lot of bands will lie and be like, "Oh, this is so hard," and you know, like nobody understands me. You know, think sometimes people just chat shit.
Right.
And Prognosis don't chat shit.
The raw emotion that comes from singing about something relevant to your life is what makes that song great. I love it. I love it.
My vocals and my face says it all in my videos. I try and connect with what I'm saying. I want people to like look in my eyes and be like, yeah, he's obviously talking some kind of sense there.
Real quick, somebody's saying they cannot hear Deadly Tarantula Girl. Oh. So let's see if we can get her. Can you pull your chair forward just a little bit? Do you have enough room?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Let's try that and see if that'll help. I don't know if it's the microphone or...
Can you guys hear me now?
Yep.
You guys...
I think it's just the difference in the distance from the microphone. Like, we could hear you, but it's almost a little muffled, but it's good.
Can everybody hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
Oh, yeah.
You've got the voice. And I got a question for you about that. My dad and I have been talking, and he knows quite a bit more about everything than I do. But as far as music, I was always telling him when everybody sings, they always sing like they're speaking our version of English. Do you actually do that on purpose when you're singing with have the accent, or does it just come out that way?
I think it just comes out that way. I'm one of those people, if I move to America tomorrow, by next week I would sound fully American. My voice just picks up accents very, very quickly. I can't do impressions of accents, but I just, especially the American one. Oh no, it's terrible. Terrible. But I enjoy a lot of American movies. I listen to a lot of American bands. So I think ultimately, like, when I sing, maybe some of my stuff comes across a little American. I definitely get told off by my band for not sounding more English.
Okay, so you can sing in English, so you can pull that accent through while you're singing.
Yeah.
That's okay. That was just what I was wondering, because I thought that maybe that it was more natural to sing in our dialect. Let's put it that way. I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't sing.
So who would you say are your mentors in the invert world as well as in the music world?
I guess influences.
Tom, obviously.
Oh yeah, Tom in the invert world. Start with that then. Tom Moran, Daniel Oakley, Pepco, yourself, Tarantula Cat, Richard Stewart of Tarantula Collective. And that's just like sort of the bigger ones. And then I love the Tarantula Tube Saturday Night Takeaway hosts. So like Mr. Grinler's Creatures, Pet Rock and Roll, Alternative Inverts, Couch Lots of Rectophobia. Sidex of Invert Kingdom UK was someone I used to watch a lot of as well. And that's just some of them. If someone releases a video, generally I'll watch it. I think maybe I don't watch stuff as much as I used to when I first got into this hobby. Like, I swear to God, I'd watch 7 or 8 hours, like, sat up all night watching stuff. Now I kind of like, that's reduced down to maybe like half an hour to an hour a day, depending on the length of the video, or who's released what. But that's my invert folk. And then I guess musically, I like Mastodon, I like Opeth, I like Lamb of God, that kind of stuff. I'm not massive into progressive metal. I like it. It's cool. But I guess I like the commercial stuff, and I know it's a bit like I'm not saying that, but I like Slipknot, I like Korn, I like Linkin Park, that kind of stuff. I just like a good song. Funnily enough, like this is embarrassing. Have you guys heard of Michael Bolton?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
I might have heard something about him one time.
Yeah, just once upon a time. So he was due to play in the UK, and my missus had bought me tickets to go see him. So that just kind of like, he's my guilty pleasure. Like, I think he's got a cracking voice, so I wanted to see something that wasn't metal. And we were supposed to see Faith No More as well. We normally do a festival every year, so we go to music festivals as well. So yeah, I mean, I love all music. As long as it's got a good beat, I'll even listen to dance music, a little bit of drum and bass, that kind of stuff, if I feel like it. otherwise, I like atmospheric, very heavy, and I like classical music as well, like Elgar's cello concerto, that kind of stuff. I just anything that inspires.
So were you
Awesome.
taught, like, were you classically taught, or were you self-taught, or
Instrument
how did
wise,
you come into music?
Instrument wise, I was self-taught. I started on guitar, play electric guitar for like 12 years. I'm not a failed electric guitar player. I still play electric guitar, but I moved to the bass guitar not long after. I just kind of found it not easier or anything. I enjoy playing all the instruments. I like to play drums. I like singing. I play a bit of piano. Even though I have a violin, I like to play a bit of everything. I'm not very good on the violin, but I like all of it. And then I studied music in school, and then in college. I guess I was trained there, but not really. No, I failed the first year, and then had to resit it. Oh well. Yeah, I should have done entomology and science is what I should have done.
So did you graduate from college?
Yeah, I graduated from in the UK. It's probably important for US folk who are watching if you guys don't know. Our school year runs to, you can leave school at 16. So that would be what we class as year 7 to year 11. Your year 1 to year 6 is when you're I want to say junior school, maybe for you guys, what you would call it. So I know that you guys, is it 18 that you leave school, roughly? Well, we after 16 we have the option to go to further education, is what they refer to it as. So you would go to a college. So I went to a sixth form college, and I did till I was 18 doing the music stuff, and then I went to what I guess you guys refer to college, which is university, and I actually did computer and video game design. So yeah, I did that for 3 years, and I graduated with a degree. So I have a degree in computer and video games. Again, I should have done entomology, but with that, I actually got a job in the games industry for a little bit, and I worked on the Lego games.
Mm-hmm.
I've got design credits on 2 of those. Like in the actual, yeah, I worked on levels on Lego games.
Nice.
That's my other thing. Not touched that since I left the job, to be fair, and I'm not really bothered about video game design. It's 12-hour night shifts and shit like that. It's mental.
Well, we over here, biology is wonderful and it's fantastic. But if you want to try to get a job and feed yourself, or maybe feed someone else, and maybe feed a pet, you don't want to get into it, because yesterday we ended up going 3 hours north of us to a town, and the guy there that went and got our guppies for us for our turtles said that he has 2 master's degrees, which is would that be your 4-year degree is your bachelor's, and then after that your graduate level is your master's, and he's working in a fish store.
There's just not enough demand for the interest. And we know herpetologists and entomologists that are like garbage men and things like that, because, everybody wants to pet dolphins, but there's only so many dolphin petting jobs.
Yeah. Same with the zoo jobs. We've got we're not far from Chester Zoo. I don't know if you've heard of Chester Zoo. That's one of the biggest zoos in the UK. And there must be a waiting list to get a job there. There's nowhere to get a job there. Although I have been offered a part-time position just over the Christmas period, working in a pet shop that do deal with spiders and stuff. So I'm tempted. I think it'd be fun just to get paid to feed spiders all day. The dream.
There's worse jobs in the world.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Like I said, I'm a bar manager at the moment of a bar that isn't open because of COVID. So keeper cards has been keeping me sane. My missus has been keeping me sort of semi-sane. My cat, he's kind of kept me sane as well. And then trying to maybe do other stuff like get to the job. I don't know. We'll just see. I think I'd like to keep the cards to be my job. That would be the ideal, and then I could spend all day every day researching. I want to take it into. I don't think this is a question for later, but I definitely want to look at doing reptile cards. I want to do other inverse. I'm working on an inverse starting sense. I've also got now another Tarantula pack to make, as well as the YouTube hero cards, and I'm a one-man operation when it comes to the research and making of cards. So I'd like that to be my full-time job. So I could really turn this into something.
That'd be awesome. So, how has COVID affected your area, and what are people around you kind of predicting for what's going to happen in the future in your area?
I don't think anybody has a bloody clue what's going on. I think the majority of folk either think it's a big conspiracy. Maybe not the majority. Let's say half the people think it's a big conspiracy. So they're walking around like nothing's happening, except everywhere's just been locked down in the UK. So it's mad. You can go and buy DIY stuff, do your house up. You can still go to like supermarkets and stuff like that, but you can't go and buy. Like you can't go to our version of GameStop and buy a video game. They closed all the pubs, all the restaurants, like straight across England. I think Wales, Scotland got slightly different setups. But everything's just really weird. Half the people think it's real, half the people know it's real. You've got people wearing masks, you've got people not wearing masks. The government, I mean, you guys have just got rid of the blonde guy. We're still trying to get rid of our blonde guy. So it's just nuts. Like nobody, I don't think the government has a bloody clue. Like in terms of from the musician side of things, our one of the big guys in government in the UK has just maybe a couple of weeks ago turned around and said, for people in the arts industry, have you considered retraining and getting a new job? It's like, dude, man, like people are losing jobs. It's shit. You can't travel anywhere. I love to come over to the US. I'm not even allowed over there. And I think it's just a straight no. We can't go to the US at the moment. But other countries, if you want to go, you've got to spend 2 weeks over there quarantining, then 2 weeks when you get back. So if you go for a 2-week holiday, it's going to take 6 weeks to get through that. So I just kind of want everything to go back to normal, and I'm sure everybody else will as well. I want to go to these invert shows. I was booked in for the British Tarantula Society exhibition. So I was looking forward to being like, buy my cards. Maybe things worked out the way they did for keeper cards in a better way this way. People are definitely going to come over to me and be like, hey, Danny. And be like, hey, don't know who you are. Because of my exposure through keeper cards and my exposure on these different streams and stuff. People always recognize me, and I don't know why.
The next BTS show, we should have a booth together. That'd be awesome.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing. Have you been to the BTS?
We never have. Oh, I want to go so bad.
Yeah, well,
I don't know if anybody would know me.
Oh my god, are you kidding me? Like I was talking to the tubers, and they're like, well, we're talking about maybe asking you about coming on as a special guest on one of the live streams on a Saturday. Because we've had Tom, we've had Petco, we've had all sorts of folks, and I'm like, well, we need some DTG on there as well. So trust me, people know you. They definitely know you. Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, if she ever gets the invite, just as long as we don't have anything conflicting, she would love to do that.
Yeah.
She didn't say it, so I'm saying it for her.
Oh yeah, I mean, I thought I was saying it.
Well, we'll see. I mean, perhaps like I know the way it works is we jump between the different YouTubers on the different host the show each week. So perhaps when it's mine, you'd like to be my guest, and then I'll get the other guys.
I would love nothing more.
Yeah, amazing. Well, we'll chat about that more as well. I think people watching this stream also watch the Tarantula Tuber stuff as well, or some of them do. So I think they'd be excited to have you on that stream as well.
So I guess we probably should talk about the cards a little more. So you're talking about once this Kickstarter's going, you're hoping to get most of the people that have pledged to you by February. What's the step after that? What's your hope?
Back to the drawing board with my expansion pack 3. I can't give anything away because, to be honest, I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to be doing with it. I've just featured some of the biggest, some of the baddest, some of the boldest, which is actually a combination of 3 different packs. It was big ones, some old worlds, and then a beautiful pack. So the beautiful thing was actually correct when you said beautiful. It's not the name, but it's definitely one of like the GBV and the mini GBV, you know, the Donatelli, Diamantinensis, stuff like that. Those really pretty spiders. But I think for the next one, I'm definitely going to touch a little bit on some of those dwarf species. Now, I'm a sucker for the smaller ones, as well as perhaps more old worlds, maybe some more brachypalmas. You know, there's still plenty of species to go. I've only covered 60 in the main pack stuff. And then I'm also going to carry on the YouTube channel Hero Cards. Briefly spoke to Marita about being featured on there as well. And then I also I've been talking to a lad from Australia, because the poor Aussies, they don't have the luxury of having the choice of spiders that the rest of us do. I mean, they're almost as bad as Canadian selection. I feel sorry for those guys too. But I want to do a bunch of Australian species cards as well. Maybe do a special down under pack. The invert starter pack needs to be done. I've already got the 30 species that are going to be featured in there, and that's going to be a good mix of scorpions, centipedes, millipedes, a couple of cockroaches. Very important. This is just a whole bunch, and the reason I'm doing a whole bunch is so that I can then branch out from there and be like, cool, here's a special centipede pack. Because I think tarantulas in the in our hobby are definitely a bigger interest, so that they deserve their own sort of starter pack. Whereas I think a lot of the inverts, there are people who love mantids and stuff, but I think getting an invert starter pack and then doing a mantid pack and doing a scorpion pack is probably the best way to go with that stuff. Yeah, so that's it. Just make more cards, mate. That's pretty much my plan for the coming year.
Well, it sounds like you've got, half the work is just getting started.
And planning it out, yeah.
And planning is the second part. But it sounds like you've got quite a bit of plans. So it sounds like you're going to just keep right on going just as long as everything keeps working out for you. And it sounds like you've got Kickstarter pretty much nailed. You met your goal on both of them. So I congratulate you for that, because we've tried a Kickstarter. And we know people that have tried Kickstarters, and they were not as successful as you were.
Not even half.
I commend you for that. That's a lot of hard work. And
thank you. 2 for 2. So maybe a third one up in the one that I'll.
I noticed that you started a YouTube channel just for the packs, and you have a beautiful video out. And you were saying my goal is 100 subscribers, and in a week you have almost 100, which it's going to be today, of course. Wow, that video. I mean, who did all that?
I made the video.
Of course you did.
Yeah, I made the video, and I used. Have you heard of the website Fiverr?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. So I used Fiverr.com, and I paid £9, which is probably less than $15, for a voiceover artist to do my script.
Oh.
And that was it. And I used a piece of music that was completely free to use, as long as you credit them at the end, which I did include that. I spoke to the Tarantula Collective. If I could nick, I mean, it's probably like 10 seconds worth of video footage across 4 little clips. And then, I just sat there and just got it put together as quick as possible, I guess. And then I've been using Google Ads to push it, because I've got a shitload of views on there, which looks awesome, but it's not people who've gone and searched it and been like, yeah, I want to watch this. This is stuff that's popped up on, I guess, your channel. If you have adverts, one of the adverts could very well be my cards. Same with like Petco, and Prognosis, we know how to do good effective ad campaigns, so I just applied that to this one. I don't want to claim that I've got like a shitload of fans or anything, especially when I think I'm up to like 6,000 views on that video, which sounds impressive, but it hasn't translated to 6,000 people pledging to my Kickstarter, which would probably put me on my ass and poor Kirsty be sewing bags for the next 12 months. So yeah, I think the whole like subscriber thing as well. I didn't even try to do that. That was a couple of the people in the YouTube and the Facebook groups who've gone, hey guys, you want to get Danny to 100 subscribers? Everybody just go and subscribe. And then you've got like 3 or 4 of them now sharing it every day. So like 20 to go, 30 to go, whatever it is. Yeah, so just having good support in the community is amazing. So yeah. I will eventually have more content on that video as well.
And that's awesome. It looks like you're doing a wonderful job, because one of the things that when we decided to start doing this, neither one of us knew anything about YouTube other than we watched it a little bit.
Little, yeah.
We really need to actually go to some classes, and I need to learn how to edit better and all that, because everything has been off the cuff for me. And I've seen people that go through frame by frame on their videos and color code it, and I don't do any of that. I don't have the time for one thing, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is a lot of work. Yeah.
Background for you, it looks like it's helping you. Would you say that your schooling has helped you with all your online
Definitely.
stuff?
Yeah, I've had a colourful sort of like history with jobs and stuff. I worked for a women's fashion company for a little bit, and I was just photoshopping stuff for 6 hours a day. So me and Photoshop worked perfectly. Through the stuff I did at university, I had to use video editing software, After Effects. I'm a proficient 3D artist. I can do animation and stuff like that. It's just all comes quite natural to me, all the software stuff. So it's applying it where it's needed. Like if I hadn't have just spent one day on a video, which is what I did with that YouTube one, I would have put in some 3D stuff and something I want to do, which is kind of cool, and I don't know if I ever will achieve it. Is like you've got augmented reality where you can I don't know, like point your phone at a QR code and then something will pop up on your screen. Well, I want to do something that when you point your phone at my stall at the invert shows, I have a 3D animation of a spider on the top of my banner. I don't know if that's possible, but I'm full of crazy little ideas like that I kind of want to apply, and they happen. It's just a bit of fun.
That's awesome.
Wow.
So John has not a true spy guy, has a guy who's just getting into it. Do you have any questions for him? He's 5 years into it. We're a little further into it. As far as I do have a question for you. Do you breed any tarantulas? Are you doing any breeding? Are you producing any eggs out? Anything like that?
Is that a question to me?
Yes. I'm sorry.
That's okay. No, I am terrified. I'm terrified of breeding them. I don't want to see one get eaten. Especially as, like I said, I've raised most of mine from sling. But at the same time, I don't want to deny a tarantula's urges. It wants some, so I guess it's going to try and get some. I don't want to cock block a spider. I'd rather send them out to people who are a bit more experienced with breeding. Perhaps one day I will attempt to breed them, but it's not on my cards right now. No pun intended. I might do a breeding card one day.
What do you think in your 5 years of experience? What do you think has been the hardest thing to overcome with tarantulas?
Okay, so old worlds, their reputation precedes them. I watched enough videos to understand from the very beginning that you don't mess with old worlds, and by that I mean you respect them. You respect them a lot. When I first started housing them and stuff, I was very wary. And it took a few years to get to the point where I can immediately just go, yeah, no worries, catch me, easy. And it doesn't bother me. I'm not scared. I don't go in there with the fear anymore. I still respect them, but I have no fear of anything anymore. I go in there. I know what I'm doing with it, and I think when I watch other people's videos, and especially new keepers, new YouTubers, and they're there like shaking when they're messing with their old worlds and stuff, and I'm like, I can understand it, but it's awesome, especially to see them then 12 months down the line, and they're like, yeah, cool, man, there's my L there's my HMAC, yeah, no problem, into a new house. Seeing that kind of change in somebody is awesome, because it's the exact change that I went through. I was wary, I was scared, but now I'm not scared. I'm just respectful.
Well, that's cool, man.
I like it.
Yeah.
I really like it. I'm just trying to take it all in. Like it seems like everything Danny touches is like turning into gold right now, and I freaking love it. Like,
look at his beard.
That's
proof.
Yeah, like you got a new hype man. Like I'm ecstatic to freaking meet you, man. Like this was
same.
It's freaking golden. Like there's so many aspects that. Go ahead. I'm sorry, JD.
Your goals for sure.
No, I was just going to say, one of the things that really impresses me with you is the amount of work you're putting into all this. It's not, I assume that when you go to bed, you're thinking about it, and when you wake up, you're thinking about it, and all day long, you're thinking about it. And not just thinking about it, you're actually doing it. And the amount of work it takes to get to the point where you're at is a long journey, and you've taken it in stride, and you're doing very well with it. And I commend you for that, and I hope that we can bring some of that to our own table, because we do lots of work, but we tend to go in a multitude of directions and don't really get anything done.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but
don't undersell yourselves. You guys are awesome, and you've got a great reputation. So,
well, that's good to hear. I know a lot of people don't like us. What are you gonna do?
And when we started this, she said she didn't care if they liked us or hated us, just as long as they were watching, and she was right.
I don't know. I think I turned into that when you realize that there are going to be people, once you start to become famous, there are going to be people that hate you just for the sake of hating you, and I don't worry about that. He gets bent out of shape about it.
I've personally always considered you one of the top people that I've done this. I consider you I describe it to some of the other YouTubers as a first
Don't
wave.
inflate her ego. I have to deal with
Promise
that.
I won't. But I consider you a first waiver. So, trying to explain this to folk, there's currently on YouTube, it seems like there are different waves of YouTubers that have appeared. You were one of the first. That puts you, like, you might not have been the first, but you're certainly in that first wave of YouTubers showing up tarantulas and how to look after them and the different species. You've got tons of videos out there. So I'd put you in with like John 3800, with Tarantula Dan. Who else is the first waiver? Tom Moran's a first waiver. So you're with all them lot, in my eyes anyway. And then you've got the second wave, which is like Tarantula Cat, Richard, Tarantula Collective, the Dark Den. They're all the second waivers. So them guys came after you lot. And then you've now got the third waivers, which is like Pet Rock and Roll, Mr. Brimless Creatures, 8 Legs, 4 Wheels, those kind of folk. So there's a lot more. There's a lot of channels popping up. They're completely inspired by you guys. And you might say that they don't like you, but I've never seen anything really to say that they don't. But I agree. Once you get more people looking at you, yeah, you get some haters. I've had a few people going, I'm not paying this much money for some pieces of card. Like, well, you don't have to pay. I'm not making you pay. And then later on, they're like, can I buy the cards? Like, yeah, okay. You didn't want them before. I had some girl post a big thing about it. So go on, question.
So here's a question, because we've been talking about it. We're now in Texas, and we're getting ready to go in a couple different directions. One of which is outside of tarantulas, you know, the snakes and stuff more. But what would you like to see off of our channel that we could, that would be inspired by you, that we could do?
I don't know. I mean, that's a tough question. You guys do a lot already. Just keep being you. You've both got amazing personalities.
I like that.
Yeah, just keep being you guys, and don't be bothered by what other people may say. I think in this hobby, and especially when it comes to caring for animals, everyone's just got a different way of doing it. And as long as you are looking after your animals, which you absolutely are, it doesn't matter how you keep them, because realistically, there's always going to be somebody who thinks that that's wrong because they read it or saw it on another video. You know, like, so just keep doing what you guys do. I want to see what you do with your snakes, you know, and then any other creatures that you bring in as well. It'd be really awesome to see. And I want a hero card as well. Like, definitely want a hero card from you. So I'm gonna get one made. Tarantula go.
That'd be awesome.
I've got an idea of the species I want to use. I was kind of waiting, because you need a picture of the spider, don't you?
I'll need 2 pictures. Yeah.
Yeah, and she kind of has hair off the back of her abdomen. I'm kind of waiting for a molt, but we'll talk to you about that on just in.
Let's not give anything away. We'll keep it as a surprise.
Yeah.
I'll come back on and we'll have another chat and show people.
Well,
always marketing. I freaking love it.
We definitely want to have you on again once you get further into this. It would be, if you ever make it back to, do you make it back to the United States?
Oh yeah, you have to come stay with us.
Yeah. Or,
oh hell yeah! I got a place in Texas to go to. It'd be amazing.
Yes, you do. And we'll go to the NARBC. There's a pretty big show not too far, and we'll shack up together.
Yeah. Get Kelly to come down as well. I know Colorado's not too far away. Your country's so big, like it's probably millions of miles.
I know.
So big, but yeah,
well,
I'd like to.
Our state is bigger than some countries.
Your state is bigger than the UK, like easily. 13 hours across, something like ridiculous. Yeah, ours is like 3 hours across. So yeah.
What? Are you kidding? Oh my!
I can't even make it to their house in 3. Well, I mean, I can, but
what's in between?
Not illegal. Desert.
Desert.
Spiders.
That's cool. I want to go to the desert, find some spiders.
Yeah.
Well, if you
I want to get a big hat, loads of beer, laughing.
Do it.
We'll go down into Big Bend and go hunt for gray back king snakes and mottled rock rattlesnakes and all that stuff.
Heck yes.
It's wonderful country. It's beautiful just to look at.
It is.
Yeah, if you come to the UK, you come stay with me in Manchester. We've got nothing. It rains all the time, but you can still come and stay with us, no problem. I'll show you.
As long as there's beer, I'm
at the bar, dude. There's always
food.
If it's raining, I just need beer.
How far are you from the ATS con? The BTS con, the British Trench Society Convention?
That's Warwickshire, so I think that's going south for us, so that's probably like 3 or 4 hour drive, maybe 5. It's not nothing. Yeah, well, that's it. That's the entire country from Manchester downwards. So I think at the most it takes about 6 hours to get from Manchester to Brighton, which is one of the lowest sort of points in our country. And you're not going that far down to TS. So yeah, probably it's a non-drive to you guys. It's just a leisurely afternoon.
Well, I know the cost of gas in England is big, so you use a rail system or you have your own vehicle? How do you get around?
I'm ashamed a little bit to say I don't drive yet, but in some good news, it was only 3 weeks ago I passed my driving theory test, which is the logic stuff.
You're driving theory? What does that mean?
Driving theory. So it's, like when they teach about road signs, road safety and all that stuff. In the UK, you have to pass the driving theory part and then what we call hazard perception. So you have to do all this tests, which shows you clips of hazards that are going to happen.
No wonder.
And you've got to go like,
wow. That's
so
much.
So that's what we have
give
to
you a
do.
car. No, I'm just kidding.
But your place is so big, like you don't have a car, you're not leaving your front garden. 10 hours to the shop for you.
Well, typically, out of where we were living before, which was in New Mexico, which is the state over to us to the west, it was about 8 or 9 hours to go visit anybody that did tarantulas. John was about 4 hours from us, but they don't have too many reptile shows where he's from, so we didn't ever go down there.
Right.
That was our close places.
Yeah, I mean, there were no other cities for about 4 hours. I mean, we were plopped in the middle of nowhere. Now there's at least cities within an hour of us.
Yeah. You got UFOs though in New Mexico, right?
That's true. That is true. Lots of very cool aliens, legal and illegal.
And unknown.
Yes. Unidentified.
So yeah, it's so what species of tarantula are you hoping to get next?
I've been eyeing up more Asian fossorials. I know they're just pet holes, but I kind of like them. They just do their own thing. I like a Brachys. The big chunky legs and rapid speeds, and like I've not even got the species electric blue, so I think maybe that's something I'm going to look at soon. But then the Seriopagopus, I think they're Asian arboreals. They're pretty cool too. I just want to kind of expand my Asian section because in my spider room I have 2 shelves full of Asian tarantulas. I have 2 shelves full of African tarantulas, and I have 4 shelves with all the New Worlds on. So I'd just like to kind of expand that Asian section a little bit because it's mostly dominated by pokies. Yeah.
So how many spiders are you keeping right now?
Probably close to 120. I need to count them, but I think close to 120. Most of them are different species.
Awesome. That's awesome.
When you go to buy a spider, when you go to buy a spider in the UK, what's the process? Let's say you want one of these electric blues. What are you going to do to get it?
You've got 2 choices. A lot of towns will have an exotic pet shop of some description. So our local one is one called Urban Jungle. Love them. Great guys in Manchester. There isn't really anybody else in Manchester that sells that stuff. There may be one other place, but it's not very good. And then if I can't get it from a shop and unplugging them, I guess, it's expensive at shops. So you've got to kind of really, really want to care of them. I discovered that you could buy crap load of spiders off the internet. So yeah, I ended up spending like £100 on 30 slings or something, different species. I've actually started taking into getting duplicates, maybe 2 or 3 of the same ones now, especially them Psalmopoeus Cambridgei, because for some reason, like I said, they're my kryptonite. Yeah. So every time I order now, I'm just going to be ordering like 3 or 4 of them. One might make it. That just makes it sound like I can't look after my spiders. All the rest are all good.
No,
it's just
everyone has that one species. Everyone has one.
Well, like in nature, a lot of them fail to thrive.
Yeah, I noticed. Really? Yeah, one of my dream species.
A friend of ours from back in the 80s, I don't remember which store it was, but he wanted Psalmopoeus Cambridgei, so he ordered them out of England. It took like 7 days to get them shipped here. They were both adults, and he actually produced off of those adults. And I was able to have one of those I kept it for about 10 years. I got it as an adult from him, and love that. We love that species a lot. Mm-hmm. We're Psalmopoeus fans.
Yeah.
So what's your
Minium is one of my dream spider is one that doesn't cost a lot of money. It used to be known as it was a Tarantulas. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. That's a weird word to try and pronounce. T. gigas, what it used to be. Now it's a Pseudoclamoris clamoris. Pseudoclamoris gigas. It's an orange tree spider. I've got an affinity with the ginger spiders, so I really wanted this particular one. And every time again, like I'm doing all right with the two I've got now, but like prior to that, they were my kryptonite. I just couldn't seem to raise those up properly either. So yeah, I was very tempted to buy an adult female and just call it quits with it. But my two slings are doing very well at the moment. Good.
Well, we've had that species before. It's been a while since we've had Tarantulas, but we bought our founding stock almost 10 years ago now.
From that of this collection, we've been keeping since the 90s. So
it seems like when you cycle through, you either have a massive die-off just because of age, or something happens in life and you've got to move on to something else until you get back into them. And it's happened to us too many times. So that's why one of the reasons why we moved to Texas too is so that this stuff's going to be with us until we're dead. We're homeless, whichever comes first.
Never going to happen. Quit being
Perfect, not the homeless one. Yeah.
Yeah. Be hard to find a bridge big enough for us to all fit under.
Yeah.
I guarantee no one's going to come and bother you if you've got walls and spiders, though. You should be okay.
True.
Just build your house out of those. The enclosures.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey for us, and it sounds like it's been quite a journey for you too. And it sounds like you're really taking off, which is, again, I want to commend you for that. And well, we need to talk about the keeper cards more. So you've met your goal. So everything else. So the Kickstarter's still open, correct? So you can still play the whole 9 yards, and you'll get.
Would you like to know about the stretch targets? What they call stretch targets?
Yes.
Don't know what those are. So to people who don't know what they are, a stretch target or a stretch goal is when a crowdfunding thing reaches its target, and then to give the people who've already pledged and other people an incentive to carry on pledging is we offer extra rewards that now everybody gets if you've pledged in this Kickstarter. And so we hit 10,000. I can now say without a shadow of a doubt that everybody who's pledged up to now will also get, on top of the things they've already pledged for, you will get a couple of badges with keeper card stuff on a little backing. That's like the sort of the lowest stretch target. But then if I hit 12,000, which I think is going to happen, like I'm pretty confident the way everything's kind of going up, and I mean it might not, but if it does, and if it doesn't, then it's okay. But if it does, then I want to. It's a bit daft, but I want to give everybody a tarantula tea towel. You know, like what you have in your kitchen. It's something that I've not seen. So I want to do one with the diagrams of the anatomy. So I'll like on my anatomy card, but have it on a tea towel that you can use that as a wall hanging one, or you just have it in your kitchen. And then on top of that, if I get to 15,000, I'm going to be throwing some more cards at people. I know that's what people obviously want with cards, so it would make sense to do more cards. But I wanted to do something a little extra as well. That's completely random and a little different. But I wanted to do flags again, but then I thought, no, I think a tea towel would be, because it's play on words, tea towel, tarantula towel. Yeah, I thought it was good.
It is. That's really cool. Well, one thing we want to get from you one of these years is we want to get one of your cards autographed, because we don't have any of your autographs, and that's kind of what we collect. So we do our pledge. If you I don't know exactly how your process is. If it's too much of a hassle, don't worry about it. But if you could autograph our set of keeper cards when we pledge to you, we would be very honored. Or even the plastic case.
Yeah, no, I definitely will. I actually do the same thing with the hero cards. I will send you. I will do that for you when you pledge. But I will also, when Marita gets her hero card, I will sign one of those. I do that for all the YouTubers anyway. I don't know if that's an ego thing. I just like to imagine maybe they like that. You guys obviously will like it, which is cool. But then I also asked you to do the same thing. I want you to sign one and send me back one, so then I've got your card with your signature on as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Love it.
So, looks like we're about 2 hours into this. Is there anything else that anybody would like to add? Because I've been yapping.
Oh gosh, just wow! I
Okay,
just
is
want
it
to
anything you
encourage
want?
you to keep on being amazing. I love your shirt. Where'd that come
That's
from?
Tarantula Dance.
That is. It's yeah, Dan Oakley.
I should have known that.
One of my heroes.
Sorry, Dan.
He won't.
So was that you next to him in that video where he was bare ass going through the snow?
No, it was not me.
Have you seen that
Not
video?
Oh gosh, I forgot about that. My mind just tried to repress that footage. That was funny.
Yeah, that wasn't me.
Those
I've
little
only
white
met Dan once.
frozen buns.
Yeah, poor guy. I've met him once at a show, and that was pre-keeper cards. So, like, him and nobody knew who I was. I was the only show I think I'll ever be able to go to where I'm not going to say I'm going to get recognized every time, but again, this beard just makes it very hard to hide. So, I think there's always going to be at least somebody at these shows now who knows who I am. Prior to this, though, like, there was that one where I'm like, I was fanboying. I was like with Kirsty, and I'm like, Kirsty, he's Tarantula down. Oh my god! And I'm like, I must be like a foot taller than him at least. Like he's a slim guy. I'm a brute. So I'm like, I just want to say hello to you. So I ended up having a very brief chat with him. He was working, so I couldn't keep him too long. But I feel like I'd get to have a beer with him now. You know? So I'm looking forward to everything opening up again, so I can start meeting some of my Tarantula heroes. Fun.
Well, thinking about being with you at a BTS would be amazing.
I'd honestly be honored if you were considering that.
That would be awesome. That would be so much fun. Oh, sorry about that.
Have you heard anything about the BTS show for next May? Is it on hold, or are they talking about doing it? You know,
they're as far as they're concerned, I think it's going ahead in May. I believe the lectures were all cancelled, as well as the show got postponed and then cancelled for this year. But that's generally it. They're a bit of a mysterious organisation, the BTS, which incidentally is a nightmare to Google. I don't know if anyone's ever tried Googling that. If you search BTS on Google, you're not getting the British Tarantulas Society anymore. You get that Korean pop band, if you know which one I mean.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, the British Tarantula Society is a long. Yeah, I've not heard anything about that.
Well,
There's magazines.
Oh yeah, we have some of the old original books.
Back when they were black and yellow. I don't know if you remember
cool.
those. Al, have you out? Go ahead.
Sorry. You go first.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say.
I
You go.
I was gonna say we've been members on and off since the 90s. It was some of the 90s were pretty lean years, so when we didn't.
Yeah, that's when minimum wage was like $2 an hour. So we were poor folk. We didn't have our college degrees back then.
But now it's just been we just haven't. We need to do that. There's several places that you always want to support. The British Tarantula Society, American Tarantula Society was good for several years, but the guy that really was behind it, he passed away, Dr. Bobby. So we haven't really done much with them ever.
Yeah.
And of course the what's the name of the legal society for
the ARC?
U.S. ARC. You always want to support those guys. So if you guys watching this, if you can, if you want to support something, the British Tarantula Society and USR are two places to look into. USR is protecting our rights, and the British Tarantula Society just puts out
a lot of educational content.
Yep.
And their show is amazing.
The best in the world for tarantulas.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to plug Love Tarantulas as well. Andrew Smith's website. He does amazing documentaries, and he basically relies on people buying DVD to then fund the next expeditions into the jungles and the places that he goes visit to film the footage for these tarantula documentaries that he made, which not many folk are doing. So I even featured him and seen it. He's got his own card. I think what he's doing is amazing. He might not be able to read my cards, but certainly I support everything that he does. And he's so kind. He puts them on YouTube for free. Like you can just watch his documentaries for free on YouTube. But you can also buy hard copies.
Yes.
So I always do.
Yes. Andrew Smith is definitely a hero of mine.
Yeah, mine too. Yeah, in regards to the BTS
we were going to interview. Oh, go ahead.
Go on, no, you go. You're going to interview him.
I was just going to say we were scheduled to interview him last winter, and he was moving, and so it got held up. I need to get back in touch with him again.
Yeah. Well, I hope it goes down well.
Yes. So here is his newest DVD.
Yeah.
My arms are long enough.
The Brachypelma one, yeah?
Yes.
No,
yes. I don't know if that's his newest one, but look at the back; it's so pretty.
So I almost cried when I opened this up and threw it in our DVD player because we can't play it off of our PlayStation because it doesn't recognize the format. But I think that Love Tarantulas, you can actually watch it online. So we're gonna have to buy it there. And,
that's what he just said.
Watch it. Oh, did he?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was out trying to grab my memorabilia because I want to get Andrew Smith to sign that if we ever make it to the ATS show.
BTS.
Yeah, I think it would do as well. It's those magazines that you said about the yellow and black ones. What I was going to say before was I wasn't into tarantulas in the 90s, I'm afraid, let alone wouldn't been able to keep any. But I did end up managing to pick up a stack of books, BTS magazines from eBay. So I've been making it my goal to try and collect as many of those as possible. Again, I think the information's wicked in them, and some of the stuff from those early ones stands up today. And like some of the diagrams, like the burrows and things that they built, like spiders have built, and all sorts of stuff is absolutely incredible. My earliest one is 1998, I think issue 14, and they do 4 a year, I believe. So I thought, you know what, I will get in touch with the BTS and I will see if I can get some. The guy who runs the BTS, he's called Ray Hales. Ray said to me that he only knows 3 people who've got a full collection of those books. So I'm like, please, for the love of God, if you ever find copies of them, please get in touch with me. So I'm just waiting on him. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but I want an issue 1 at the very least. And if he wants, I will type it up and I will put it together in a big book. They can have the money.
Oh, wow.
I don't care. I think that information is absolutely priceless and it should be available in a modern format at the very least.
Well, I had always hoped to get over one of the first Tarantula books I ever got, which has tremendous photographs, but the information is pretty minimal, is Anna Webb's Proper Care of Tarantulas. And she passed away, and it broke my heart. I never got her to autograph the book. But I did get a personalized letter from her, so I'm very thankful for that.
Amazing. You guys know Jacoby, Michael Jacoby?
Not personally.
I know he does.
Held him back and forth.
He does a Ratno culture, doesn't he? He's done the new magazine, the digital one.
Oh, I didn't know about that. We'll have to look into that. I didn't know that he was putting out a magazine.
Yeah. It's, I think Arachno Culture. So I think Andrew Smith did the first forward for the first page. I've read through a little bit of it. And then there's another guy called Nick Wadman. Well, I think that's his name. He's created a social media platform called My Book Book, which is basically Facebook for entomologists, for vendors, all around the world. And I don't know how particularly popular it is. I've signed up, but I've not really followed up much on it. He's still working out some of the details, but he's also doing a magazine as well, which he's not just doing spiders, though. He's doing for generally all sorts of inverts, stuff like that. He's got bugs and stuff. So yeah, if you get a chance, My Book Book, I think his website name, the details about the magazine there as well. Plugging people, no one's paying me to plug any of this stuff. It's just stuff like that kind of respect, and they do the same for me, so do the same for them.
I think she signed up to My Book Book, but there was a point where we had to pay it onto it or something. And that was right at the time we were moving. Is it?
Yeah, the social media side of it's free. I think you may still have to pay a couple of quid to sell on there, but if you're actually selling stuff, like Facebook don't let you advertise any sale posts now for live animals. So yeah, I think there's no limit on how many friends you can have. Like there's a lot of things like sort of superior to Facebook. I just don't know if it's fully taken off as much as it just needs a few more people on there to start this ball rolling, really. So I'm going to push it anyway to people, and hopefully one day that's where all those bug folk will go.
Well, we'll research it more and try to put a video out talking about it a little bit, because I have been on it when it first started. I think 8 Legs 4 Wheels was recommended here when he first started his channel, and so I checked it out, and we got all signed up, and just it's been a crazy couple of years for us just trying to get moved here, and we've kind of fallen off the wayside on this stuff. So
you'll be you guys
definitely
running, and everything will be running smooth again for you guys soon enough. I know you've got a lot on your plate with all the movement and the job.
Yeah, we're finally getting settled.
You guys know of Rocky Mountain Spider Freeze?
I don't know if we've heard of them.
No.
Okay, well that's another. They're Instagrammers, the Canadians, and they are like some amazing people. They do a lot for the hobby as well. They just get everybody involved and do live streams all the time, all on Instagram. So Rocky Mountain Spider Freak, I would highly recommend just checking those guys out as well.
Cool.
Like you guys offered me a place to stay, they do exactly the same thing, you know. So I'm going to be going from Canada, Golden, British Columbia. I'm going to go from there, then I'm going to come down the country. I'm going to get to New York, which is right across the continent, and then I'm going to go into the middle, Colorado, and then I'm going to come down to you guys. So yeah, that's a question mark.
Awesome.
That's pretty cool, man. That is really cool. Hey, John, you got any questions?
I'm just trying to take it all in all honesty. I'm so new to tease that this was a great learning experience for me. I'm just enjoying it.
I hope my accent's not been too
Oh no,
too quickly.
I love it. It was more of I got 3 small children that I keep picking up in the background. It's throwing me off a little bit.
Running around. That's part and parcel, isn't it?
Well, our small children, which are dogs, are locked up in a room, which is something you can't do with small children. So
not legally.
I think that's frowned upon a little bit.
Yeah. Well, guys, thank you so much for being our first guest. This is Beauty, Beast, and the Beard podcast. Make sure and pledge to the Kickstarter, the Keeper cards.
Yes.
What do you do with the pack?
It's right there, silly.
Oh,
maybe this episode should be called Beauty, the Beast, the Beard, and the Beard. Yes, definitely pledge.
Please do, yeah.
Yeah, you're the man.
Cool stuff. So I'm going to also send you the link to the posters that I said I would do and I haven't done.
Awesome.
So yeah, I'll see you directly too.
Okay.
Well, we'll definitely link like your socials if you have a website, your Kickstarter campaigns, all that stuff will be in the description box for this video. Danny Daemon, he's the man. He's got the prettiest beard in Manchester. And you're just so amazing.
You guys are
So
amazing.
give all your bandmates a hug from the Deadly Tarantula Girl. Hope you guys love this one. Thank you to the people who have been watching live today. And yeah, I love all of you guys. Happy weekend to everyone.
Click like.
Yes, please.
And keep on rocking. Your music is amazing. We want to hear more of it. Wait till the next album comes out, and we definitely want to keep in contact with you and see if we can get some more things going for you. Because you've got me. For sending out those packs. And I did want to apologize that we did not get the video out for your last Kickstarter in time.
Don't be that busy, man. Like, it's okay, honestly.
And maybe if you need a belly dancer in your next video, maybe I'll fly down.
Yeah. I mean, I might have to try it myself first. But we'll see.
Do it.
All right, guys.
No, thank you, guys. Take care.
Love everybody. Hugs and kisses. Be safe.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all for joining in.